is to effectuate a positive ROI, right? That's all why we're here. We want to make money. We want to figure out how to set up streams of income, either as an affiliate or an advertiser. So with that, there's math and there's terminology that you'll need to know to be able to talk the math that these guys are talking, so that when you apply to a CPA network, when you're talking to somebody selling you inventory, you actually can talk the talk and you don't get ripped off with stuff. So, okay, so it's really quite simple. In media buying or affiliate marketing, all the terminology that you'll come across relates to four different sections or categories, okay? So with media buying, you have cost, okay? So you have an element of cost, and that's the cost that it's going to cost you to drive those new visitors, those new users into some type of affiliate relationship or to your own product, okay? So there's going to be a series of terminology and nomenclature relating to cost, okay? There's going to be a conversion part. As those new visitors and customers are driven into an affiliate relationship, there's going to be associated conversions. And conversions deal with how many times or the percentage of times you can create real customers out of those visitors. So there's going to be, and again, I have a series of terms that I use. You may have terms that you use, and there's probably even third parties that have different terms. So the point is, if I can give you guys an understanding, you're going to know what they mean. You know, when I say VTU to somebody, somebody said, I don't know, earlier about, loss per click or something, right? I mean, like I get that immediately because I have a basis of what cost per click is, or EPC, earnings per click. So again, I'm not going to cover probably all the terminology. This is the terminology that I've used over the years that just works for me. Obviously, there's a revenue component of it. That's why we're doing it. So all these visitors that funnel in, they all have some conversion rate. Each offer is different. The example that I gave you earlier of the email submit or the zip code submit has a very high conversion rate because I push 5 buttons and I make $1.20. So on that offer, right, the conversion rate might be 50%. So 1 out of every 2 people might actually do that and convert. That's my conversion rate. Whereas if you have a sale offer, so let's say that you're selling something for $80, okay, or 80 pounds or whatever, the conversion rate that's going to be a little bit lower because you're not going to sell all 100 people or however many number of people you have into that process. So that's conversion, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Or we did talk about that. This is the revenue piece of it. And then at some point, you have to generate some kind of return on your investment, some ROI, and we'll talk about how we get to those types of the math relationships. So for some of you, this might be advanced stuff. Some of you, it might be, yep, I get it, it's no problem. But the point is here is you have to understand these things in order to kind of be successful at this game. I've now thrown up some of the terminologies, and we'll go over as many of these as we can in detail, that you at some point need to learn, okay? Some of this stuff might seem very pedestrian, very basic. CPM as an example, it's every time somebody shows your ad 1,000 times, that's 1 CPM. So we're going to talk about each of these in greater detail for you so you have a sense of what they all are. I'm going to cover most of these in following up slides, and don't feel like you got to rush to write all these down. But just generally know that the terminology relates to 4 separate buckets, okay? Cost, what it costs you; conversion, these are usually percentages of something; revenue; and ROI, okay? All right. So cost per 1,000. I mean, the M part always drove me a little bit crazy. I don't know if it's Latin or something, but is it Latin?
Yes.
CPC, okay. The dumb American here. But cost per 1,000, all right? CPM is a very commonly used term to indicate cost per 1,000. So what this basically says, this term says, is that for every time I show your ad 1,000 times, you're going to owe me a certain amount of money, okay? So this is as little as performance-based marketing as you'll find, because the publisher here, the distribution channel, is only responsible for serving your ad 1,000 times, and that's it. They wash their hands with it. They say, look, whether your offer converts or not is not my issue. I'm going to serve your ad 1,000 times. Now, don't be fooled, because in my career, I've primarily bought CPM advertising. Now, why is that? Well, I don't want to share my profit with the publisher. Okay, I have already high impact creative, high conversions. why do I want to share that bounty with the publisher? So I'm confident enough in my offers to run CPM. So if you're really good at what you do, you want to buy CPM, because think about it, from the publisher's point of view, they have no risk, okay? They love those types of scenarios. They say, look, I'll serve your ad 1,000 times all day long, I'm done, I get paid. Nothing to do there. With you, this can be a very risky endeavor, because you can make nothing, right, and still be paying money. So cost per 1,000, every time your creative shows 1,000 times, you get paid a fixed price. Now, in terms of pricing, I've bought all kinds of CPMs. Don't get caught up in the price of it. People are very enamored with, oh, it's $1 CPM or $2. Look, I'm kind of like pricing agnostic. I've bought media for 5-cent CPM. I've bought media for $3 to $5 CPM, because that media then relates to certain placements. So if I'm getting a high-profile placement on a site that I know converts, I might pay a very, very high CPM. I bought media on, for example, Hotmail, okay, MSN Hotmail. High volume traffic. People are reading emails, they're not clicking on ads. As a result, I pay very little for that inventory, because there's a lot of it, like billions and billions and billions of impressions, and people, while they're checking their email, tend not to click on ads. So they're forced to serve that or sell that at a very, very low price. So again, CPM, very, very common in our industry, something you should know.
But do you still do placement targeting on CPM and Google?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. And like,
Write that at all?
I do, yeah. I mean, I do buy some placements on Google on CPM. Facebook gives you the option to buy on a CPM basis or CPC. There's some debate as to which you should do. I recommend most people start with CPC pricing, because at least you're getting the chance to market to a customer. You're getting a visitor, actually. With CPM, you could serve tens of thousands of ads and not get one customer. Okay? So cost per click. Cost per click is again, I credit Google for making cost per click more accessible to the small business person, the affiliate marketer. But cost per click is again, quite a simple piece of terminology. It simply says that when somebody clicks on my banner ad, my text ad, my video ad, whatever the unit of measurement is, I am going to pay a certain price for that click. Makes sense, yeah? Pretty straightforward. You pay a fixed price. It's not a variable price. And again, I bought clicks for as little as 3 cents. Back in the day, I was doing a lot of buying on Google. I was paying $8 a click for some mortgage-related inventory. And again, I was very happy to do that. So don't get caught up in the price of it. If it's 2 cents or it's $8, it's irrelevant. What's relevant to you is looking at the entire chain, and if $8 clicks effectuate you a high ROI, then God bless you, that's great. If the 2-cent clicks, you're doing a lot of volume on it, but has a low conversion but high ROI, that's okay too. So when I tell people about media buying, I kind of use the terminology of cost per whatever, because you can put anything on the back of that thing. It's CPC, CPA, CP whatever. And for me as a media buyer, I don't really care. So long as I can measure everything in a line, I'll buy anything. You know what I mean? Like I gave the example of buying on the front page of MSN. I don't cover this terminology necessarily in this setting, but that was a cost per time, CPT, okay? I was buying a 24-hour block of MSN.com, and they've since changed the site around quite a bit, so it's not there as it used to be, but I'll tell you the inventory that I bought, so you know. So again, I talked about media buying being this moving car. These websites are updating all the time, they're changing. So there was a time not too long ago that there was a text link right here, okay? Can't show it to you because it's not there right now. But that text link cost me $25,000, okay? And my creative was, I think I was promoting a diet product, so I was like the one secret to losing weight, or it's a very common type of creative. And so that placement got, I think I told you, 140 million page views a day. If you guys want to walk you through the math of that buy, would that be helpful? Okay, here we go. My first time at the whiteboard, I'm pretty excited. Smell these things. Okay, so that buy cost me 25 grand, okay? And that was my cost piece of it. So we're going to keep this related to the 4 different elements of the cost, okay? So what Microsoft told me was, look, maybe my site tomorrow gets 1 page view. Real quick question, go for it. Sorry? Sure, no problem. If I have black, I don't. I have blue. Would that be more helpful? Okay. So, okay, good. So my buy was with MSN. So I have a rep there. They're in Redmond. I've been up to Redmond many times. I bought ridiculous amounts of money with MSN. So I said, what do you got for me? He said, well, you know, one of my brand advertisers. My name is Hanif. Hello, Hanif Hard. Hello, Hanif. So one of my brand advertisers backed out, and I had this inventory available. Do you want it? It's 25 grand. And I don't gamble at all, but I like to make money. So I said, fine, I'll take it. So I got, 25 grand was my cost. And here's a really interesting way that you can scale your business that we'll talk about a little bit later. But it turns out I pay this bill net 90, okay? So I get put an IO, my ad runs today, or say it's tomorrow. I get all the clicks, I get all the sales. I'm jamming these CPA networks to pay me daily. Okay, I need my money right now. So if you want to know how to scale super fast, figure out distribution channels where you can get terms on. Like it sucks with Google. They bill Google's like net 30 because they bill your cards, you pay it later. This is a big advantage of basically portal buying is my terms on this are net 90. And maybe I'll go net 90 and have the rep call me and be like, hey, you know, you owe me money. Oh yeah, that's right, sorry. So I'll even push it out like net another 30 days, right? So I'm going to push this out, this cost element, as far as I can. Okay, so we don't cover, this is cost per time, okay? I don't cover this necessarily, but the point here is Microsoft says, look, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It might be a big news day, in which case you might get 200 million page views. Maybe nothing goes on, you might get 1 page view, but I'm not making any claims as to what's going to happen tomorrow, except for the fact I'm going to put your ad on the top of my web page, okay? And it was like, you know, they give me like 90 characters, and I'm interested in putting the highest impact ad I can on here. And they're not even making claims in terms of where this traffic comes from, okay? They're saying, I said, what do you normally get? Well, I normally get 140 million page views. That's a lot, right? Not everyone's looking at that top banner, and they're saying usually about 30% of that's international. And now I know more of my game plan because I know that I can take those international users and redirect them into an international offer. But nonetheless, this is what